The phone is vibrating on the nightstand. 3 in the morning. Baltimore. Small apartment that smells like instant coffee and medical bills. Keisha Williams reaches for it in the dark, eyes barely open, thinking it's the hospital calling about her son's medication again. "Ms. Williams." The voice is professional, clipped, urgent. "This is Seoul Presbyterian Hospital. We have a situation that requires your immediate assistance. We need you in Seoul. Tomorrow morning. Private client. Medical translation. $50,000 for 2 weeks." Keisha sits up so fast her head spins. $50,000. Her son Marcus is sleeping in the next room. 9 years old. Cerebral palsy. The surgery he needs costs $42,000. Insurance denied it again. "I'll take it." There's a pause on the other end, like they're measuring her desperation. "There's a condition, Ms. Williams. You'll be required to sign a comprehensive non-disclosure agreement. You will never speak about what you see. Not to family, not to authorities, not to anyone. If you violate this agreement, there will be serious legal consequences." Every instinct Keisha has is screaming at her. Red flag. Massive red flag. But $42,000. "Send me the contract. Hi, besties, trust me. You don't want to miss this mind-blowing story and how this ends. Hit that subscribe button now, like and drop in comment. Where are you watching from? All right, besties, let's continue." Keisha hangs up and stares at her son's medical bills, stacked on the kitchen counter like a monument to everything she can't fix. 22 hours later, Keisha is in the back of an SUV in Seoul, watching the city blur past tinted windows, so dark she can barely see the driver. No hospital signs, no medical buildings. They've been driving for 40 minutes into neighborhoods that get quieter and more isolated with every turn. The SUV slows at a checkpoint. Armed guards, no uniforms, just black tactical gear, and weapons held with the casual confidence of people who've used them. Her driver shows a card, they wave him through. Second checkpoint, same routine. Third checkpoint. Keisha's hands are shaking. This is not a hospital job. The mansion appears like something out of a crime thriller. Concrete walls, bulletproof glass, security cameras covering every angle. Architecture designed not for beauty but survival. A man in an expensive suit meets her at the entrance. Late 30s, face like carved stone. "Ms. Williams, welcome. I'm Mr. Choi. I'll be your liaison during your stay." His English is perfect. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. "Follow me. Do not stop. Do not speak to anyone unless instructed." They walk through hallways lined with artwork, worth more than her entire neighborhood. No family photos, no warmth, just expensive emptiness that echoes with every footstep. They stop at a door, heavy, reinforced. Mr. Choi doesn't knock, just opens it. "This is your assignment. The doctors arrive in 1 hour. You will translate their evaluation. You will not speak to the subject until they arrive. You will not touch her. You will not ask questions. Is that understood?" "Yes." He leaves. The door closes behind Keisha with a sound like a tomb ceiling. The room is large, but feels suffocating. Expensive furniture. One window with bars so subtle you almost don't notice them. And sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at nothing, a girl. 14, maybe 15. Small for her age, dark hair pulled back, eyes that look like they've seen things no child should see. She doesn't acknowledge Keisha's presence, doesn't move. Just sits there like a doll someone posed and forgot. Keisha stays by the door, following orders, heart pounding. Then the girl's hands move. Sign language. Fast. Desperate. Hands shaking with urgency. "Help me. Please. He's going to kill me." Keisha's blood turns to ice. She doesn't know ASL perfectly. Just enough from a deaf patient she worked with years ago, but she knows what she just saw. The girl is looking at her now, direct eye contact, pleading. Keisha's mind is racing. The NDA, the armed guards, the $50,000, her son who needs surgery. She raises her hands slowly, signs back, clumsy but clear. Who's going to kill you? The girl's face crumples, relief and terror mixing together. She signs, my father. The door opens. A man walks in, 50-something. Expensive suit that probably costs more than Keisha's car. Face carved from granite. Eyes that have seen violence and decided it was useful. He looks at his daughter with an expression Keisha can't read. Not love, not hate. Something colder. Clinical. Then he looks at Keisha. Has she communicated anything to you? Time slows down. This girl just signed that her father wants to kill her. And now he's asking if she communicated. Keisha can feel the weight of the choice pressing down on her chest like a stone. Tell the truth. Follow the rules. Protect yourself and your son. Or lie. For a stranger. A child. No, sir. She hasn't said anything. The man studies her face, looking for cracks in the lie, looking for tells. Keisha forces herself to meet his eyes. Steady, calm, professional. Finally, he nods. Good. The doctors will be here shortly. Make sure she cooperates with the evaluation. He turns to his daughter. Says something in Korean. The girl doesn't respond. Can't respond. He leaves. The door closes. Keisha's hands are shaking so hard she has to clasp them together. The girl is signing again. Faster now. You lied for me. Why? Keisha signs back. Because I have a son your age, and if he needed help, I'd want someone to lie for him too. The girl's eyes fill with tears that she doesn't let fall. She signs. My name is Jiyeon. Jiyeon Park. Over the next 72 hours, Keisha pieces together the nightmare she's walked into. The doctors aren't psychiatrists. They're evaluators. Testing cognitive function, memory, comprehension, language processing. They're not trying to help Jiyeon. They're trying to figure out if she's smart enough to be dangerous. During breaks, when the doctors are conferring in the hallway and Mr. Choi is occupied, Jiyeon signs her story in fragments. Her mother died giving birth to her. Her father blamed her. A deaf daughter, in his world, was a weakness. So he hid her, kept her isolated, protected her by making her invisible. 3 weeks ago, she got curious, found a way to access her father's computer, security cameras, files she wasn't supposed to see, footage of her father meeting with men in government suits, conversations about immunity deals, witness protection, testimony. Park Min-jae, her father, is turning informant, giving up his entire organization to save himself. But there's a problem. The syndicate he's betraying will kill everyone connected to him once they find out. Everyone. Including his deaf 14-year-old daughter, who's seen footage that could expose the whole operation. Jiyeon signs. He has two choices. Hide me forever in witness protection, or make sure I can never testify about what I saw. Keisha's stomach turns. These doctors, they're deciding which option. The evaluation ends on the third day. Keisha is translating as the head doctor, delivers his report to Park Min-jae in his office. Your daughter's cognitive function is exceptional. Her memory is detailed and accurate. She demonstrates full comprehension of complex situations. Her deafness has not impaired her intellectual capacity in any measurable way. The doctor closes his folder. She would make a highly credible witness if she ever testified about what she's observed. Park's face doesn't change. Thank you, doctor. That will be all. The doctors leave. Mr. Choi escorts them out. Keisha is still standing there, translation headset in hand, understanding exactly what that evaluation just confirmed. Ji-yeon is smart enough to be a liability. Park pours himself a drink, doesn't offer her one. Ms. Williams, your services are no longer required. You'll be paid the full amount and flown home tomorrow morning. A car will collect you at 6 a.m. What happens to Ji-yeon? That's not your concern. You're going to kill your own daughter. The words are out before Keisha can stop them. Park sets down his glass, slowly, the movement deliberate and controlled. You should be very careful about the accusations you make, Ms. Williams. Am I wrong? He studies her. This American woman with her cheap clothes and her moral certainty and her complete lack of understanding about the world he lives in. You have a son, Marcus, 9 years old, cerebral palsy. You work 3 jobs to afford his care. You're drowning in medical debt. You came here because you're desperate. Keisha's blood runs cold. I know everything about you, Ms. Williams. Just like I know you signed to my daughter. Just like I know you've been lying to me since the moment you arrived. He stands up, walks to the window, stares out at the compound below. I didn't report it because I wanted to see what you would do. Whether you would try to help her. Whether you would be stupid enough to involve yourself in something that has nothing to do with you. Keisha's voice is steady, even though her hands aren't. So what now? You kill us both? Park laughs. It's not a pleasant sound. I don't kill children, Ms. Williams, or desperate mothers. He turns to face her. But I do need you to understand something. My wife died giving birth to Ji-yeon. For years I blamed her, resented her. A deaf daughter in my world is a target, a weakness that rivals can exploit. So I hid her, kept her isolated, made her invisible to protect her. 3 weeks ago, she accessed files she shouldn't have seen, security footage, conversations. She knows things that will get her killed by people I cannot control. I made a deal with the government. I give them my organization. They give me immunity and protection. But they won't protect her. She's not part of the agreement. They don't care about collateral damage. His voice is flat, emotionless, like he's discussing a business transaction. So I have 2 choices. Put her in witness protection, where she lives in a box for the rest of her life, moving every few years, never having friends, never having a normal existence. Or I make sure she can never testify about what she's seen. The implications hang in the air like smoke. Keisha's voice is barely a whisper. There's a third option. There isn't. Let me take her. The room goes silent. Park stares at her, like she just suggested something impossible. Take her where? To Baltimore? To your 1-bedroom apartment with your disabled son and your mountain of debt? And when the syndicate figures out, I had a daughter, and tracks her down, what then? They won't figure it out if everyone thinks she's dead. Park's expression doesn't change, but something shifts behind his eyes. What exactly are you suggesting? Fake her death, car accident, fire, whatever story you need to tell. I take her to the U.S. under a different name. She lives with me and Marcus. No one knows. Not your organization. Not the government. No one. Why would you do this? The question hangs between them. Keisha thinks about Marcus, about the surgery he needs, about the life she's built from nothing, fighting every day to give her son a chance, because I have a son who needs me to be the kind of person who does this. Park walks back to his desk, sits down, steeples his fingers. If they find out she's alive, they'll kill you, your son, everyone you love. They'll make it slow. They'll make it hurt. And I won't be able to stop them because I'll already be in witness protection under a new identity. Then we don't let them find out. He's quiet for a long time, studying her, calculating. I need 3 days to arrange it. The accident happens on a Friday morning. Ji-yeon is being transported to a medical facility. The route is carefully planned. A bridge over water, low traffic time. The SUV accelerates, crashes through the barrier, plunges into the river below. Fire, explosion, a body burned beyond recognition. DNA confirmation from a family dentist on Park's payroll. By Friday evening, Ji-yeon Park is officially dead. The syndicate sends flowers to her funeral. The government closes her file. Park Min-jae's immunity deal moves forward without complications. And Keisha Williams boards a plane to Baltimore with a 14-year-old girl traveling under a passport that says her name is Hannah Lee. Adopted daughter. Paperwork forged by the best identity specialists in Seoul. In the airport, before they go through security, Park kneels in front of his daughter. He signs to her. The first time in her entire life. I'm sorry I didn't learn your language sooner. Ji-yeon signs back, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry you had to choose. He touches her face. Once. Gently. Like he's memorizing it. Then he stands and walks away without looking back. Ji-yeon watches him disappear into the crowd. Keisha puts her hand on the girl's shoulder. Ready? Ji-yeon nods. They go home. 6 months later, Marcus and Ji-yeon are inseparable. 2 kids who understand what it's like to be different. Who've both spent their lives being underestimated and overlooked. Marcus teaches Ji-yeon about American culture through video games and superhero movies. Ji-yeon teaches Marcus sign language and Korean cooking. They do homework together at the kitchen table. They fight over the TV remote. They gang up on Keisha when she tries to make them eat vegetables. It's messy and chaotic, and nothing like what Keisha expected. It's also the happiest she's seen Marcus in years. He was so lonely before, isolated by his disability, struggling to make friends at school. Now he has a sister. Keisha watches them laugh together while playing video games and realizes she didn't just save 1 kid. She saved 2. Then, 7 months after they left Seoul, the phone rings. Not Keisha's phone. The one Park gave Ji-yeon. The emergency line that was only supposed to be used if something went catastrophically wrong. Ji-yeon answers it. Her face goes white. She looks at Keisha and signs. He's coming here. 3 days later, there's a knock on the apartment door. Keisha opens it. Park Min-jae is standing in the hallway looking like a ghost. Thinner, older, exhausted. May I come in? She lets him inside. Ji-yeon is standing in the living room, frozen. Marcus is behind her, protective, hand on her shoulder even though he's younger and smaller. Park looks at his daughter, at the apartment. At this life she's built without him. They found out. 3 words that destroy everything. Someone in the organization figured out the body wasn't hers. DNA irregularities, timing issues. They're looking for her. Keisha's voice is steady. How long do we have? I don't know. Days, maybe less. They have people everywhere. Then we run. They'll find you. Then what do we do? Park looks at the 3 of them. This impossible family that shouldn't exist. I need you to trust me one more time. The plan is insane. Park goes back, not to the government, to the syndicate. He tells them he made a mistake with the immunity deal, that he can lead them to a bigger target, someone who's been embezzling from the organization for years, someone they want more than they want, revenge on him. He offers them a trade. In exchange, they stop looking for his daughter. She's dead. Let her stay dead. Let the past stay buried. They agree. Because Park Min-jae knows where enough bodies are buried that he's still valuable. But Keisha understands what this means. He's giving up his immunity, his protection, his freedom. He's walking back into the world that was going to kill him, to keep Ji-yeon safe. The night before he's supposed to leave, the four of them sit together in the tiny apartment living room. Ji-yeon and Marcus on the couch, Keisha and Park in the kitchen chairs they've pulled over. This family that exists for one night only. Marcus signs he's been learning fast. You're a good dad. Park's face breaks, just for a second, a crack in the armor. Ji-yeon signs. Don't go back. I have to. Why? So you can stay. I don't want to stay if it means you die. Park looks at Keisha, searching for something, help, permission, an alternative he hasn't seen. She meets his eyes. What if there's another way? There isn't. What if you stay? What if we figure this out together? There's no scenario where I stay, and you're all safe. What if we don't need safe? What if we just need each other? It's the most insane thing she's ever said. Offering hope to a man who spent his entire life being taught that hope is weakness. But something shifts in his expression. Why do you keep trying to save me? Because someone has to. That night, Park makes a phone call. Not to the syndicate, to someone he hasn't spoken to in 20 years. His younger brother, also in the organization. Lower ranked, but connected. With ambitions Park has spent decades keeping in check. He offers him everything. His position, his network, his contacts. All the power Park spent his life building. In exchange, his brother takes his place in the deal with the syndicate, claims credit for the information, and spreads the word that Park Min-jae died in a deal gone wrong. It costs Park everything he built, every bit of power, every connection, every piece of the empire he created. But it buys him one thing: freedom. 8 weeks later, Park Min-jae is living in Baltimore under a name that isn't his, working at a Korean restaurant in the kitchen, learning English from YouTube videos, learning sign language from his daughter, learning how to be a person instead of a weapon. Ji-yeon is enrolled in school, real school, making friends, joining clubs, living like a normal teenager for the first time in her life. Marcus got his surgery. The recovery was hard, but he's walking now. Not perfectly, but walking. And Keisha is watching this broken family piece itself together from fragments and realizing something terrifying. She's falling in love with a man who used to kill people for a living. They don't talk about it at first. Too complicated, too impossible, too dangerous to acknowledge. But late at night, after the kids are asleep, they sit together on the fire, escape smoking cigarettes they both swore they'd quit years ago. This is weird, right? Keisha says one night. Extremely weird. I'm a single mom from Baltimore. You're a former crime boss from Seoul. We're raising 2 kids in a 1-bedroom apartment that barely fits all of us. This shouldn't work. But it does. She looks at him. Really looks at him. Are you happy? He thinks about it for a long time. I don't know if I've ever been happy, but I'm close to something like it now. That's a start. He reaches for her hand. She takes it. They sit there in silence, watching the city lights. 2 people who found each other in the wreckage of impossible choices. If you're still watching, you need to hear what happens next. Because what this family discovers about survival will change everything you thought you knew about second chances. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what comes after the fall. 2 years later, they get married. Small ceremony at City Hall. Marcus and Jian as witnesses. No guests, no family photos to risk someone from Park's old life recognizing him. Just 4 people choosing each other against every odd. Jian is 16 now, applying to colleges, wants to study international law, wants to help people like her. People caught between systems that don't care about collateral damage. Marcus is 11, walking, running, playing sports, living proof that limitations are often just other people's lack of imagination. Park works at the restaurant during the day, teaches self-defense at a community center at night, uses everything he learned in that life to help people in this one. The universe has a strange sense of irony like that, and Keisha is still translating, still working, still the backbone, holding this impossible family together. One night, Ji-yeon is doing homework at the kitchen table when she signs to her father. "Do you miss it? Your old life?" Park is washing dishes. He stops, thinks about it. He signs back. "I miss the power. I miss the control. I miss knowing I could solve any problem with money or fear. But I never had this. Dinner with people who actually want me there. A daughter who looks at me with love instead of fear. A son who asks me to help with his homework. A woman who sees all my worst parts and stays anyway. So no, I don't miss it." Marcus looks up from his math homework. "Dad, what's 7 times 8? "Dad." Park still isn't used to hearing that word. 56. "Thanks." Simple. Normal. The kind of moment Park never thought he'd have. Then Ji-yeon's phone buzzes. She looks at the screen. Her face changes. She signs to Park. It's Uncle. Park's blood goes cold. His brother. The one who took his place. Who was supposed to keep the secret buried. Ji-yeon shows him the message. "Family reunion, next month. Seoul. Your presence is requested." It's not a request. Park looks at Keisha. She's already reading the situation from his expression. "What does it mean?" she asks. "It means he knows. My brother figured out I'm alive." What does he want? Leverage, money, or to finish what should have been finished years ago? Marcus signs. "So we run again?" Park looks at his son, this brave kid who's already lost so much, who's learned that safety is temporary, and family is the only thing you can count on. No, no more running. That night, after the kids are asleep, Park tells Keisha everything. His brother was always the ambitious one, the ruthless one, the one their father should have chosen to lead instead of Park, who had too much conscience. When Park offered him the position, his brother took it. But he also did his research, found inconsistencies in Ji-yeon's death, DNA that didn't quite match, dental records that were a little too convenient. He spent 2 years quietly tracking them, waiting, building leverage. "What does he want?" Keisha asks. "Everything I have left, and probably me dead to tie up the loose end. So what do we do?" Park is quiet for a long time. "I go to Seoul. I meet with him. I give him what he wants, which is my life for yours." Keisha stares at him. "Absolutely not. There's no other way. There's always another way. Not this time." She grabs his face, forces him to look at her. "We didn't survive everything we survived for you to go back and die. We find another option." "Keisha, no, we're smarter than this. Both of us. We figure it out." For 3 days, they plan. Every possible angle, every scenario, every way this could go wrong. Finally, they have something that might work. It's dangerous. It's complicated. And it requires Ji-yeon to do something no 16-year-old should ever have to do. Tell her story. The plan is simple in theory, impossible in execution. Jiyeon will record a testimony. Everything she saw in her father's files. Every detail about the organization. Names, dates, operations, all of it. They'll encrypt it. Store it with multiple third-party security firms. Set up a dead man switch that releases everything to international authorities if anything happens to any of them. Then Park goes to Seoul, meets his brother, and explains the new situation. Kill us, and everything goes public. Leave us alone, and the secrets stay buried. Mutually assured destruction. The only language his brother understands. Jiyeon spends a week preparing her testimony, writing everything down, translating it, making sure every detail is accurate and verifiable. Keisha watches her daughter, because that's what Jiyeon is now, her daughter, carry this weight that no kid should carry. "You don't have to do this," Keisha signs to her one night. "Yes, I do. He's my father. He gave up everything for me. This is how I protect him back. You're 16. I stopped being a normal 16-year-old the day I accessed those files." She's right, and it breaks Keisha's heart. Park leaves for Seoul on a Tuesday morning. Keisha, Jiyeon, and Marcus go to the airport. They can't go to the gate. Too many cameras, too much risk. So they say goodbye in the parking lot. Marcus hugs Park tight. "Come back." "I will." "Promise?" Park kneels down, looks his son in the eye. "I promise." Jiyeon signs. "Be smart, not brave." Park signs back. "I'll try." Then Keisha. She doesn't say anything, just kisses him. Long and hard and full of everything she can't put into words. "I love you," she whispers. "I love you too." He walks away. They watch him disappear into the terminal. Marcus takes Keisha's hand. "He's coming back, right, Mom?" "Yeah, baby. He's coming back." She hopes she's not lying. In Seoul, Park meets his brother in a restaurant they used to go to as kids. Neutral ground. Public enough that violence is unlikely. His brother looks exactly the same. Sharp suit, sharper eyes, the smile that never meant anything good. "Big brother, you look different. Softer. Life in America agrees with me." "I'm sure it does, playing house with your dead daughter and your American girlfriend. Very domestic." Park doesn't react, keeps his expression neutral. "What do you want?" "What do I want? I want what you should have given me years ago. Respect, recognition, everything you took. That should have been mine. I gave you my position, my network, my organization. What more do you want?" His brother leans back, studying him. "I want you to admit you're weak, that you always were, that father was wrong to choose you." "Fine, I'm weak. He was wrong. You were always better suited for this life than I was." The honesty seems to throw his brother off balance. "Just like that. Just like that. Because you're right. I am weak. I care about people I shouldn't care about. I made choices you never would have made. And I'm not sorry." His brother's expression hardens. "You destroyed everything our family built. Everything Father wanted for us." "No. I saved the only thing that mattered. My daughter." "She's a liability. She's a person." His brother signals someone. A man approaches the table, sets down a laptop, opens it. "I have people in Baltimore, watching your apartment. Your family. One call, and they disappear." Park's blood turns to ice, but he forces himself to stay calm. "Before you make that call, you should know something." He pulls out his phone, opens an encrypted file, shows his brother. That's a video testimony from Jiyeon. Every detail about the organization. Names, operations, connections. All of it verified and documented. It's currently stored with 3 separate security firms in 3 different countries. If anything happens to me or my family, or if I don't check in every 48 hours, it automatically releases to international law enforcement. His brother's face goes white. You're bluffing. Am I? Park plays 30 seconds of the video. Ji-yeon signing her testimony. Clear, detailed, damning. His brother slams the laptop shut. You'd destroy everything, everyone. You'd put yourself in prison just to protect them? Yes. That's insane. That's love. They stare at each other across the table. Two brothers who took such different paths from the same starting point. Finally, his brother speaks. You win. I leave you alone. You stay dead. The testimony never releases. That's all I want. But if you ever come back to Seoul, if you ever contact anyone from the old life, if you ever become my problem again, I won't. His brother stands up. You really did go soft. Maybe. But I'm alive, and I'm happy. Can you say the same? His brother doesn't answer, just walks away. Park sits there for a long time after he's gone, hands shaking, realizing how close they just came to losing everything. Then he pulls out his phone and calls Keisha. It's done. He can hear her crying on the other end. Come home. I'm already on my way. 16 hours later, Park walks through the apartment door. Marcus tackles him. Ji-yeon wraps her arms around both of them. Keisha stands there crying, laughing, holding on to all three of them like she's afraid they'll disappear if she lets go. You did it, she whispers. We did it. That night, after the kids are asleep, Keisha and Park sit on the fire escape again. I've been thinking, Keisha says, about moving, getting a bigger place. Maybe even a house, somewhere with a yard, somewhere the kids can have their own rooms. Can we afford that? You've been saving everything you make at the restaurant. I got a promotion at work. We've been paying down debt. We can make it work. Park looks at her. You want to build a future. I want to build a future with you, with our kids, all of it. Our kids. Yeah, Marcus and Ji-yeon, our kids. Park feels something break open in his chest. Something he didn't know was still locked. I spent my entire life running from this, from normal, from domestic, from soft. I thought it made me weak. And now? Now I think I was afraid. Because this... He gestures to the apartment, to the life they've built. This requires more courage than anything I did before. Keisha takes his hand. Welcome to the hard part. 3 years later, they're standing in front of a small house in the suburbs. Nothing fancy. 3 bedrooms, a yard, a garage. Normal. Ji-yeon is 19, in college, studying international law like she planned. She comes home on weekends. Marcus is 14, in high school, on the track team. Walking, running, living. Park still works at the restaurant, but now he's the manager, teaching other immigrants how to find their footing in America, how to survive, how to build something new from nothing. Keisha got promoted again, senior medical translator, training others, making a difference. They're sitting on the porch one evening, watching the sunset, when Ji-yeon asks the question they've all been thinking about. Do you think we'll ever be safe? Really safe? Park looks at his daughter, this brilliant, brave young woman who survived things that would have broken most people. I don't know. Maybe safety isn't the point. Then what is? This. Right now, being together. Choosing each other every day even when it's hard. Marcus comes outside, holding his phone. Hey Dad, this video about former crime bosses who left the life just popped up on my feed. Weird coincidence, right? Park and Keisha exchange a glance. Very weird, Park says calmly. Later that night, Park checks the algorithm. The video is part of a documentary series. Nothing specific, nothing targeted, just random. But it's a reminder. The past never completely disappears. It just waits. Quiet. Patient. But so do they. They've built something stronger than fear. Stronger than secrets. They've built a family. And that's worth protecting. Every single day. If this story made you feel something, if it reminded you that family isn't always about blood, it's about choice, then leave a comment below. Tell us about a time someone chose you, or you chose them, against all odds. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to start over. That courage isn't the absence of fear. It's love that's stronger than fear. Sometimes the life you're supposed to have and the life you end up with are two completely different things. Park Min-jae was supposed to die in that world, killed by enemies or betrayal or his own choices. He was supposed to be remembered as just another crime boss who met the inevitable end. Keisha Williams was supposed to struggle forever, working herself to death, trying to give her son a chance while the world kept telling her it wasn't enough. Ji-yeon Park was supposed to be a footnote, a weakness in her father's armor, a girl who didn't fit anywhere and wouldn't survive the collision between her father's world and her own existence. Marcus Williams was supposed to be limited, defined by his disability, living within the narrow boundaries other people's imaginations created for him. But none of them got the life they were supposed to have. They got this one instead. Messy, complicated, built from broken pieces and desperate choices and one woman's decision to save a girl she barely knew. And somehow, it's better than anything they could have planned. Because the best families aren't born. They're chosen. Every single day. In the small moments. The hard conversations, the impossible choices. They choose each other, again and again, and that's what makes them unbreakable. Years later, when Ji-yeon is a lawyer working for an international human rights organization, she'll stand in front of a courtroom full of people and give a speech about survival, about what it means to be saved by a stranger, about fathers who learn a new language for their daughters, about mothers who choose to protect children that aren't theirs, about brothers who learn that strength comes in forms they never expected. Marcus will be in the audience, walking without assistance now, headed to college next year, planning to study physical therapy so he can help other kids like him. Park will be there too, older now, gray hair, lines around his eyes from smiling, unrecognizable from the man who once ruled through fear. And Keisha will sit beside him, holding his hand, watching their daughter speak truth to power, their impossible, beautiful chosen daughter. When Ji-yeon finishes her speech, she'll look directly at her family, and she'll sign, "Thank you for choosing me." Keisha will sign back, "Thank you for letting us." That's the thing about families like theirs. They're not built on obligation or blood or tradition. They're built on daily acts of courage, small and large, quiet and loud. The courage to lie for a stranger. The courage to give up everything. The courage to stay when running would be easier. The courage to love when fear would be safer. And in the end, that courage becomes something bigger than survival. It becomes legacy. Not the legacy of power or wealth or status, but the legacy of people who looked at impossible situations and chose each other anyway, who saw brokenness and built something beautiful from the fragments, who understood that families don't have to look a certain way to be real. They just have to choose each other every single day, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, And that's a legacy worth everything. The apartment in Baltimore still exists. They kept it after they moved to the house. Couldn't bring themselves to let it go. It's where Marcus took his first steps after surgery, where Ji-yeon learned to feel safe, where Park learned that home isn't a place, it's people. Sometimes on anniversaries or birthdays or just because they all go back there, sit in that tiny living room that barely fit the four of them. Remember what it took to get here. Remember what they survived. Remember that they chose each other when they could have chosen safety, when they could have chosen easy, when they could have chosen themselves. And every time, they know they made the right choice. Because here's the truth that no one tells you about families like theirs. They're not perfect. They're not easy. They're not what anyone expected. But they're real. Built on sacrifice and courage, and love that looked at impossible odds and said, "Watch me." And in a world that often measures worth by blood and tradition, and whose name is whose, that matters more than anything. So if you're watching this and thinking about the people you've chosen, or the people who chose you, thank them. Tell them what they mean. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because life doesn't give you perfect moments. It gives you opportunities to choose, to show up, to love harder than fear, to build families from fragments, and to prove that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is refuse to give up on someone the world has written off. That's what Keisha did for Ji-yeon, what Park did for all of them, what they all did for each other. They chose every single day. They chose. And that made all the difference. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that family is built through choices, not just blood, then don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button right now, because we share stories like this every week. Stories about people who choose courage over comfort. Stories about second chances and impossible families and love that refuses to quit. Drop a comment below and tell us, have you ever made an impossible choice for someone you barely knew? Or has someone taken a chance on you when no one else would? Your story matters. Share it with this community. Turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Because next week, we're bringing you something even more unexpected. This community is built on people who believe in second chances, who understand that love shows up in the most unexpected places, who know that the most powerful families are the ones we choose. So choose to be part of this. Subscribe, comment, share. Because somewhere right now, there's someone who needs to hear that it's not too late, that they can start over, that they deserve to be chosen. Be the person who shows them that. Hit that subscribe button. Join this family of believers. And remember, the best families aren't born. They're chosen. Choose to be part of ours.